I want to drop this message on here right now. And this is probably going to sound kind of crazy. Just chilling out. This is going to sound kind of crazy, but you know what? Sometimes you can ask yourself, how can people be a certain way? But the reality is that they are not people. Okay? Everybody on the planet is not human. Let's get that straight. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at some words right now. All posts are always challengeable. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at two words coupled by some scripture. The scripture we'll give you first is where it says, when the sons of when the sons began the men began to produce daughters on the earth, and the sons of God, seeing that they were fair, they made a pact with each other, 200 of them, that descended onto Mount Hermon, according to the book of Enoch. It said, let us go down and take each one of us wives amongst the children of men and go into them. And then they went into them and they produced sons for them. And they taught them all sorts of things. They taught them all types of witchcraft and the cutting the roots, dealing with drugs, and how to cast spells, and how to read the clouds and read the sun and read the moon. They taught them astrology. They taught them how to extract metals from the earth to make weapons of war. They taught them all sorts of things. They taught them how to create makeup and paint and things like that. They taught them how to smite the embryo, how to do abortions. They taught them all of these type of things. So when I say that everybody on the planet is not human, I am lining this up with scripture, because there are some diabolical people on the planet. And right now, see, the great misconception is this. So we're going to look at the fact of this race war stuff that's being promoted right now. Why do you think it's being promoted? Don't you understand? For Hebrews and for Europeans. But a lot of you we're gonna be slaughtering each other. You know, for you white folks, don't think that you just gonna come in here and kill all of the Hebrews and just walk away and have a wonderful life. Don't you understand that we're gonna slaughter you too? That's why it's called a race war. We're gonna be fighting against each other. You're not just gonna be killing us, we're gonna be killing you as well. But we do not see the systematic plot that is behind it, because there is a hidden entity that we don't see that is fueling these things. Okay? So you have to look at the seed of the Nephilim. It's still on the earth today. So we know that Cain hooked himself up with wives of Canaanite women that carried the seed of the Nephilim. Nobody wants it to be spoke of, and that's why they put anti-Semitism laws and all that in place, because we know that the seed of the Nephilim is these so-called Jewish powers that standing behind the scenes, and they are the ones that created the NAACP, which is abbreviated the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. But they put that thing together not so that colored people could be advanced upon coming out of slavery, but so that the same people that enslaved them would commit mass slaughter when they attempted to be equal with them, thereby leading to race wars where they would not just kill the black folks, but white people died in those race wars too. And white people gonna die in these race wars too, because everybody is too ignorant to see what the scripture have to say about a particular thing. And then we're going off just fighting each other when we don't have the sense enough to understand that the same people that created this entity to produce race wars is still fueling it right now. Because these so-called people that call themselves Jews literally hate. And all of them, all of Esau is not the same. That's what we got to come to understand. All of Esau is not the same. There are different factions of Esau. Esau has some children. Cain produced children from the Canaanite women, which carried the seed of the Nephilim. Cain produced children with the Ishmaelites. You understand what I'm saying? You got different factions of Esau, okay? And these children of the Nephilim, they are not human. Okay, let's look at the word human. Let's break it in half like a dictionary would do. It would say HUE-MAN. Hue means color. Color man. Human. And so if you have the absence of hue, there is no possible way for you to be a human. Henceforth, there is another word that had been created for those that are not human. It is called mankind. Let's split that word in half. Mankind. Kind of a man. Kind of a man in stature. Kind of a man in makeup. Kind of a man in look. But genetically insufficient. It lacks hue, therefore it is not human. It is kind of a man. And it is genetically different because it is a hybrid being. And so there are some things that is depleted in, like love and like forgiveness and like those ingredients that make up the nature, the natural characteristic of the human being are absent. In this other word, mankind, in this kind of a man, those things are absent because what we see flowing out from them is pure hatred and evil and non-caring and unforgiveness and anger and bitterness. It's just terrible. It's a total opposite, yet it looks kind of the same. The scripture said that when they had consumed all of the acquisitions of men, they turned on the men and began to devour them and drink their blood. And then they defiled themselves with birds of the air and fish of the sea and the things in the ocean. See, they didn't just have sexual acts with the women. They had sexual acts with nature itself. What do you think dinosaurs and all of these great giant animals came from? It came from the same place that they giant children came from. Hybrid beings were created. And these people that's sitting at the helm of this world system are the children of these particular entities. They are not people. They come from another dimension. Well, I know what everybody say. This is science fiction. This is science fiction. Okay, we're going to see how much science fiction it is when the Most High come back and crack the sky and come out of the sky to wage war on his enemies. I bet you won't think that it's so fictional then, because you don't think that nothing will come out of the sky and then come down here. And since these beings know that the next thing that's going to come out the sky is going to be the Father to smite them, they trying to trick the whole